I mean, I'm really, really open, and I think that's what I love about showing my work, is hearing people's reaction to it, especially with this medium that kind of makes some of the original imagery in my mind more ambiguous. It's really interesting. So I'm still seeing the original thought or idea in my head when I'm looking at a painting, but someone else might see something totally different because the painting eventually abstracts the image a lot of the time. Or sometimes, like, just people, I'm thinking of figures being a certain gender and people read it as a totally different kind of situation when there's like more than one figure in the painting, and I think that can be really interesting. And normally I would think that I wouldn't really like it to be misread, but every time I can think about that happening, I was really interested in the way that the genders were switched up or that it was being read. So I feel like it's not a bad thing. But I think one thing I wish I could share more with viewers is this huge process of the archive and the source imagery and the artists that I'm looking at and the movies and the plays and the dance that I'm looking at in a more like really specific way. And so that's why I've started kind of printing things into the paintings. And that's why, I mean, so for instance, I wanted prints of cranberries because I wanted it to have like an original source. I didn't want the image to be something made up by myself. I wanted it to be from, this was a photograph. Originally, this berry was a photograph taken of a cranberry that really existed. And to have that kind of, solid source in combination with this loosey-goosey painting style is important for me. But yeah, what I was getting at in relationship to your question was that, like, I'm trying to figure out more ways to share some of these images, because I'll have, actually I can show you like this, I have a little pile of images somewhere that is specific to like this painting. And I was thinking, this painting is kind of overloaded now, but before, when it was a really skeleton of a work, I was thinking, would there be a way of showing these photographs that kind of inspired the work without, like, but alongside it, not within the painting. So these kind of references these were the things on my wall while I was painting it. And I have in the past, I had a small show where I did take a bunch of my source images and just lined the whole wall behind all the pieces with those images, just as another way to bring the viewers into the work and to see that this is not just coming from like figures splashing around in paint, but really from very specific places. So I think, yeah, that's a mixed answer to your question, because I'm very open to people interpreting their own thing, and I'm really interested in those interpretations, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that people don't get out of the eventual painting that was in the process that I'm trying to figure out how to share. So kind of trying to figure out a way to direct the viewers more.